Welcome to FIA Pure Motorsport. On this week's episode, we present Top Fuel Dragster's newest star, Ida Zetterstrom. We'll show you how much creativity goes into building autocross buggies. And we'll have a race in the south of France, plus much, much more from the FIA world of motorsport. The new season of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine is very entertaining. 12 different teams, 37 drivers from around the world, 10 stops, and 20 races to find a new champion. The first 6 races saw already 4 different winners and good performances from Hadrien David and the R-Ace GP team, and Gabriel Mini and the Art Grand Prix team. But the dominant team early in the season is Prima Racing. One of their drivers was at the top of the podium in 4 of the 6 races. With 3 wins, Dino Beganovic leads in the overall standings. Hadrien David is 55 points behind, and Gabriel Mini is sitting in 3rd position. The 4th round of the new season is held in the south of France in Circuit Paul Ricard. For the first race, once again, Swede Dino Beganovic is on the pole position. Next to him is Brazilian Gabriel Bortoleto. Prima Power Team driver Paul Aron starts from the 3rd position. It's a good start from Beganovic, but Paul Aron puts a lot of pressure on Gabriel Bortoleto. After the first few laps, the 2 Prima Racing drivers already have a big lead. Now it's a duel for the lead. Paul Aron relentlessly attacks his teammate, but Dino Beganovic fights back and manages to stay in front. However, the Estonian doesn't let up and keeps trying. Finally, he manages to push past Beganovic. The fight for 3rd place is also quite exciting. Mikhail Belov in the orange MP Motorsports car tries to overtake Gabriel Bortoleto, and shortly before the end of the race, he succeeds. But at the top, Paul Aron remains in the lead. The Estonian can celebrate his 2nd win of the season and thus reducing the gap to his teammate Dino Beganovic in the overall standing. The Swede has not finished worse than 2nd in any race this season. Mikhail Belov makes it onto the podium for the 2nd time. For the 2nd race of the weekend, Gabriel Mini is on the pole position. After another great qualifying session, Gabriel Bortoleto starts next to him. Championship leader Dino Beganovic starts from the 3rd position. The start goes well and the drivers at the front of the field hold their positions. Mini leads ahead of Bortoleto and Beganovic. But a short time later, Beganovic shows his outstanding form and overtakes Bortoleto. On the long straight, Dutchman Haas Havercourt sucks into the slipstream of Bortoleto in 3rd place, then easily passes the Brazilian. At the top of the field, Dino Beganovic attacks Gabriel Mini and the Italian defends with everything he has. For a short moment, they both leave the track, but Mini stays in front. Beganovic, however, does not give up. The Swede tries again on the straight, and Havercourt also sees his chance now, but Mini defends his lead. Great racing from the 3 drivers. A little further back, Bortoleto has to let the next driver pass him. Paul Aron has no problems to move up to 4th place. The first 3 positions remain unchanged. Gabriel Mini with a commanding lights to flag win, Dino Beganovic with another finish in the top 2, and Kaz Havercourt is happy about his 2nd podium this season. The Dutchman's joy is even greater because following the scrutineering carried out at the end of the 2nd race, the Prima Power Racing car of Dino Beganovic was found to be non-compliant. After the Swedish driver's exclusion from the race classification, behind Gabriel Mini, there are now Haas Havercourt in 2nd place and Paul Aron, who came in 3rd. With this victory, Gabriel Mini passes Hadrien David in the overall standings. Despite his disqualification, Dino Beganovic still has a big lead of 45 points over the Italian. The next stop of the Formula Regional takes place in Zandvoort. This is Ida. She's half Swedish, half Finnish. Ida's 28 years old, pretty relaxed, good fun to be around, and usually in an extremely good mood. However, Ida is also...
I'm very stubborn. When I do something, I really want to feel like I'm doing it correct and I'm the best at it. But other than that, I think I'm quite easygoing. I like to have fun. I like American muscle cars. We have a 68 Camaro, some jet skis and some bikes. And for us, just good fun is go out and do something action-packed together.
Ida Zetterström was born with a passion for motorsports. At the age of 3 weeks, her parents took her to her first dragster event.
When I was 8, that was the lowest age you can start running junior dragsters at the time. So my dad built a junior dragster for me and we instantly got in it to see if I liked it. I had been stoked already to try it. From the beginning, it was the speed, the adrenaline, going as fast as possible, and all of that was really fun. But then as I grew older, I kind of really fell in love with just like the racing of it, like what it takes to be the best, to get faster every time and how you can improve on everything.
At the age of 16, Ida got her Super Comp dragster license, but then she switched from 4 to 2 wheels. In 2013, she started racing in the Super Street Bike class, and within a very short time, she went from being a good rider to a great rider. She became the first woman to ever clock a 6-second run with a stunning 6.885-second race, making her the second fastest rider in Super Street Bike history at the time.
If you're that one that really wants to be the best and wants to work on it, and you are open to seeing things you do wrong and where you can improve, then I think you can move forward a lot faster.
Last year, she fulfilled her biggest dream and earned her Top Fuel license, in style. Her 3.862 second for 1,000 feet was the fastest license ever run. Her Superbike experience helps her in the Top Fuel dragster races.
It's the same feeling mentally. It never stops pulling. When you leave the line, it only gets better from there. It only accelerates. When you're doing those high speeds, it's kind of like your mind eventually gets used to it and it's able to slow down and you're able to react to stuff differently, or you're able to feel in the motions of the car or how the bike reacts and everything. So it does feel like you're doing it for a lot longer.
This season, Ida is a rookie in Top Fuel dragsters, and like with the first time on the Superbike, she benefits from her team.
So usually what I try to do is, of course, listen to the team I have around me, and especially when they have more experience than I do. Drag racing is very humbling sport. You can have a great run and you feel, I did perfect, it felt awesome, it was great. And then the run next after, it can be just, not great at all. So it's a very humbling sport.
We have a strong feeling that Ida will have more good runs than bad ones, because so far she has done very well with the advice she once got and nowadays likes to pass that on to young girls.
If they can do it, you can do it.
Dragster racing is back. After a very long COVID-19 break, the FIA main event at Santa Pod Raceway is the first official FIA European Drag Racing Championship event since 2019. And it's well received by fans, teams, and drivers alike. There's a full international field of 16 cars in the fan favorite class of the FIA European Pro Modified Championship. Pro Mods are drag racing's quickest, fastest door slammers, cars with functional doors. The illustrious field is led by defending champion Jan Eriksson from Sweden in his orange 68 Chevy Camaro. He's the only driver in the field with a personal best under 5.8 seconds for the quarter mile, which corresponds to about 400 meters. David Vecta from the Netherlands has accumulated 5 FIA race runner-up finishes since his 2009 Pro Mod debut and is aiming in his 68 Chevrolet Camaro for his first win. Estonian Andres Anover launched his Pro Mod career only last summer But with the greatest debut pass seen in Europe with 5.88 seconds in his '67 Ford Mustang, he's also one of the favorites. In the first semifinal, Swiss vet Bruno Bader in his '63 Chevy Corvette will face the big favorite Jan Eriksson. In the heats, Bader was able to convince with a 5.88 for the quarter mile, but Eriksson set consistent times in the 5.70s. The race is decided at the start. Another final for Jan Eriksson. A convincing victory with a great time of 5.78 seconds and a top speed of 395 kilometers an hour. In the second semi-final, Andres Arnover on the left will meet David Vegter. The Dutchman is a slight favorite in this race, although Andres Arnover had a very good weekend so far. It's a close race, but David Vegter prevails. 5.86 seconds is the winning time. Even the better top speed of 400 kilometers an hour will not console the Estonian about his defeat. The grand finale of the Pro Mod class. The first and third of the quali against each other. Jan Eriksson from Sweden against David Vegter from the Netherlands. The champion against the eternal runner-up. David Vegter on the left, Eriksson on the right. It's a better start for Vegter, but in the end, Jan Eriksson wins the first race of the FIA European Pro Modified Championship. Both stay under 6 seconds, but the higher top speed makes the difference in the end. A great final. Jan Eriksson opens the new season in style. Another second-place finish for David Vegter. Top Fuel dragsters are the quickest accelerating wheel-driven vehicles on the planet. They have over 11,000 horsepower, a top speed of 500 kilometers per hour, and cover the distance of 1,000 feet or 305 meters in just under 4 seconds. Finn Antihorto has a 25-year drag racing career and races in Top Fuel since 2011. His personal best speed is 501 kilometers per hour. Swede Susanne Kalin returned to Top Fuel action in 2019, 14 years after her last outing. In between, she's raised 2 daughters who now both race in junior dragster. Last but not least, there's Ida Zetterström, the newest face in Top Fuel. These 3 drivers want to make it to the final. In the first semi-final heat, Susanne Kalin and Antihorto meet. The Finn in the blue and white dragster, Kalin in the yellow and black one. Antihorto with a great race, a new European record of 3.80 seconds, and also a new personal best speed with 513 kilometers per hour. Ida Zetterström has a bye run in the other semi-final, but a good chance for the 28-year-old to get more experience. A great run, 3.782, Europe's first 3.7 and a new European record. A great performance from Ida Zetterström and a highly deserved appearance in the final. There she meets Antihorto, who is naturally favored with his experience. Ida loses traction at the start and rolls to the finish, while Antti proves his consistency and covers the drag strip in 3.809 seconds. The first win of the season goes to Antihorto, a great FIA EDRC debut for Ida Zetterström. The drivers of Prima Racing dominated the second round of the F4 Italian Championship in Misano. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who was in pole position in all 3 races, managed to win in the first 2 races. The first 2 wins for the rookie driver in the F4 Italian. The 15-year-old also dominated race 3, but after a restart, his teammate Rafael Camara was not only able to get closer, but also overtake the Italian Mercedes-AMG F1 Junior. The second win of the season for the 17-year-old Brazilian and the lead in the overall standings. The FIA European Truck Racing Championship kicked off the new season. The 16 drivers will compete for the title in 8 stops in 32 races. The first stop in Mazzano already showed how exciting this year will be. 3 different winners in the first 4 races showed how balanced the field is. The reigning champion Norbert Kisch had a great start to the season, winning races 1 and 3. Antonio Albacete won the second race, and for the first time since 2019, the Spaniard was back on the top of the podium. Sascha Lenz crowned his great weekend with a success in the 4th and final race. The 10th Czech New Energies Rally was the second stop of the FIA Eco Rally Cup. After their second place at the first event in Valencia, the Czech duo of Michal Zdarsky and Jakub Nebelek had a great showing with incredible regularity that secured them first place. Their total deviation over almost 350 kilometers and 700 measuring points was only 7 minutes 20 seconds. The Italian-Polish duo of Guido Guarini and Artur Prusak were able to celebrate a surprisingly good second place and relegated reigning champion Eneko Conde to third place. The FIA Rally Star Middle East and North African final winners have been crowned at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Oman's Abdullah Masoud Al-Taki earned a life-changing place in the FIA Rally Star training season 2023 after he came out on top of 2 days of rigorous assessment and evaluation presided over by a 5-person jury. Masoud Al-Taki joins Estonia's Romet Jurgensen, the winner of the FIA Rally Star European final in January, in the FIA Rally Star training season, with 4 places still up for grabs at the remaining continental finals. At the end of 2023, the best 4 FIA Rally Star team members are awarded with a season in the FIA Junior WRC in 2024. Meanwhile, Farah Zakaria from Jordan qualified for the FIA Rally Star Women's Final, which is due to take place in North America later this year, by completing the FIA Rally Star MENA Finals as the leading female competitor. The FIA European Autocross Championship events have a very special flair. Most drivers are amateurs who enjoy a great hobby. They not only spend a lot of time pursuing their passion, but they also invest countless hours in building and developing their buggies. Small budgets are compensated for by a lot of creativity, just like Kevin Peters. The Luxembourger finished second overall in the buggy 1600 category last season. Until the last race, he was in the thick of the fight for the title, also thanks to his buggy, which is a one-off, a creative masterpiece of engineering. The heart is, of course, the engine, or rather 2 engines in this case. Kevin's buggy is powered by 2 Triumph Street triple 3-cylinder motorbike engines, each with a capacity of 765 cc. You have to be crazy to build something like that. It's a lot more work than driving a single engine. We chose this system because we're confident in the Triumph engines. The biggest challenge is to match the engine so that you get maximum power. You always have a stronger and a weaker engine, so you have to find a good middle ground. The big challenge is to couple both engines together so that they're synchronized to throttle and shift gears in parallel.
Und dann haben wir, was ganz kompliziert ist und was nicht so einfach immer zu regeln ist, ist von den Motoren mit der
What's very
Schaltung.
complicated and not so easy to regulate is the manual transmission. You can adjust everything precisely. The motors are connected to a rod via rod end bearings. These are connected to the gear stick lever via a lever.
Hebel fahren wir nach vorne, wie bei Umlenksystem, nach vorne an den Schalthebel. Das gleiche System funktioniert auch so mit dem Gas.
This is also how the accelerator works. However, we have 2 cable pulls at the top of the throttle that operate via a rocker. This is how both throttle caps move together.
Vom Gas wird das abgegriffen einmal, damit die beiden Drosselklappen sich bewegen miteinander.
The 280 horsepower are transmitted by the rear axle by chain and sprocket, just like on a motorbike. Buggies, however, are all-wheel drive vehicles, but even there, Kevin Peters has found a practical and durable solution.
Wo mit der mittleren Ritze die Kette wird dann nach vorne.
Because it's an all-wheel drive car, the chain is led from the middle sprocket of the rear axle under the car to the front and connected again to a sprocket on the front axle via a differential.
Verbaut und dann umgekehrt wieder dann der Antrieb geschlossen für das Vierradantrieb.
According to FIA rules, the buggy also needs a reverse gear, which is lacking in motorbike engines. The next creative idea, a converted electric starter motor that is activated at the push of a button and then moves the car backwards. Of course, there are also countless custom-made other things on the car, and the father of two plans, builds, and perfects all of this in his spare time. His reward? Not only a unique and very fast buggy, but also one that doesn't exist anywhere else on the world. The FIA European Autocross Championship season kicks off at the Baskamusa circuit. The legendary track in Latvia is the first of 10 stops of the 2022 season and represents a big challenge for the drivers. In the cross-car final, one of the favorites, number 305, Juan Jose Moll, has a great start, but is then touched and turned around. Bad luck for the Spanish driver. Frenchman Valentin Comte benefits from this. He leads the race, followed by Chantal van der Putten, Adam Kotaska, and Jose Fernandez. This group of four can break away from the rest of the field. And Valentin Comte wins the first cross-car final of the new season. Not only the first victory for the young Frenchman, but also the first time he is in the points. Chantal van der Putten from the Netherlands comes second, and the Czech Adam Kotaska is third. In the junior buggy final, two Czech drivers have a great start. Arnost Florian in the blue and orange buggy and Daniel Pitlun in the white and blue buggy take over the first two spots. After a few laps, Florian is still in front of Daniel, followed by two drivers from the Netherlands. Tia Kovac is in third position, and Toyn van Asten is in fourth. Arnost Florian drives a flawless race and maintains the lead. Daniel Pitlun stays behind him, and behind those two are four drivers fighting for the last podium spot. In the end, the two leaders are 6 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Toyn van Asten from the Netherlands managed to secure third place. Arnost Florian wins the first race of the season. Last year's overall runner-up Daniel Pitlun comes in second. In the buggy 1600 final, last year's third overall Jakub Novotny is in the middle of the front row of the grid, but on the far left, Markus Wibbeler has the best start and takes the first turn in first place. The German is still in the lead after a few laps. Novotny in second, but drives a bit too aggressively and touches Wibbeler. Number 102, Kevin Peters, takes advantage of this and moves up into second place. While the Czech drops back down to 9th place, Markus Wibbeler and Kevin Peters have a great duel for the top spot. With the better ending for the German, he crosses the finish line 0.6 of a second ahead of Kevin Peters. A great win for last season's 4th place driver. Kevin Peters shows that he is a force to be reckoned with again this year, and Stijn Jaspers from the Netherlands is happy about his good 3rd place. Bernd Stübe achieved great results in the qualifying race for the Super Buggy final, so the German has the best start position. Peter Nicodem is next to him, 5th overall last year. The Czech is one of the favorites for the title this season. Stübe on the far left, Nicodem in the middle, Robert Thuel on the far right. Together they turn into the first bend, and Stübe loses a few places. So it's Nicodem in front of Thuel. Then in the orange buggy, it's local hero Erwins Grenches, who knows the Muse circuit inside out. Peter Nicodem extends his lead, followed by Grenches, and then the Frenchman Johnny Foyade. Bernd Stübe has fallen back to 8th place. The first victory in the Super Buggies goes to Peter Nicodem. In the end, he's more than 6 seconds ahead of Erwin Grenches. Johnny Foyade comes in third. That's it for today. On our next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we're meeting the reigning ETRC champion, Norbert Kisch. We'll have spectacular hill climb action from Sternberg, and we'll explain why karting is the cradle of many great race drivers. Till next time, take care everybody, and ciao.